done with your chips? These chips. No. So once we start rolling, once he says roll, when we start talking, can't even get you like 3, 4 right now. Get easy. Put it in your mouth and let it melt.
All right, and 5, 4, 3, 2.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Y'all, welcome back. We are here, Halves, season 2. I mean, I can't believe it. Like, I can't even fathom right now how we got to do this pivotal moment in our path and how you are joining us here with our special guest, Dominique Perry. Y'all give a round of applause.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you for having me.
I
I'm
hear
excited.
H-Town is in the building.
Oh, all day, every day. It's just a H-time. Where it go down.
So how did we get from Houston to LA? I mean, like actress, dancer. Walk us through some of those pivotal points in your journey.
Do you have 3 hours or do you have just for this one question?
Well, you know.
A joke. So, born and raised in Houston.
Love it.
I went to the ensemble theater when I was 7. There they taught me acting, singing, dancing. It was a great thing. It was a young performers program that I went to out there. It's a famous black theater down there called the Ensemble Theater in Houston. Went there from 7 till 17, and I did their main stage plays. So I came from a lot of musicals and stage.
Yep.
From there, I went to Prairie View A&M University. Shout out to the HBCU in the building. Shout out to that. And so I went to HBCU. I majored in theater, minored in communications. That's kind of the usual, typical thing for anybody in the entertainment industry. We go to the communications. And majored in theater. And from there, I decided to go to TSU. I was a dancer. I was a majorette with the band at Prairie View, the Black Foxes. That's what we're called at PV. And for reasons, me being a class clown, I was kicked out of the dance line. So I said, well, I'm going to go to the rival school. We're going to go to Texas Southern University. And I'm going to dance there because I really just wanted to dance. I'm a dancer as well, and I'm all about being in the arts. That's the main reason why I went to school and majored in theater. So from there, when I was at TSU, I wasn't doing too well in school. Okay. Because it wasn't really where I wanted to be as far as school, period, not just TSU. It was just my dream and my passion of acting was calling me. So I decided to move to Atlanta, and I left my last semester of college. That was so stupid. Don't do that, y'all. Just finish school, because I plan on finishing school. I really do. I plan on going back.
It was senior year?
It was like my senior year.
Oh, wow.
But I was failing out. Because I didn't want to be there, you know? So I was going to probably end up repeating anyway.
Yeah.
So I am going to go back now that I'm older and wiser. But anyway, I moved to Atlanta, stayed there for about 4 years. From there, I had an agent. I had no manager. I just had an agent, did a lot of acting classes. And I had kind of reached my point in Atlanta where I was kind of done with it, and I wanted to give LA a try. After doing a movie called Get Hard with Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart and T.I. So that was fun. And I was just an extra there, but the extra got bumped up. So I thought that I could use that little momentum to do LA for like pilot season.
Yep.
Basically,
pilot season?
So pilot season is, well, my manager says all year is pilot season, but pilot season basically is a moment from like January to March or February to maybe April where a lot of shows are trying to get greenlit. So they have a lot of auditions for you to have for their pilots, for their first episodes of the shows that they're trying to get greenlit.
Got you.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to bust my butt. I'm going to come out here for pilot season in January, and I'm only going to stay here for 3 months. And I got out here. I got a job at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. On Pico, shouts out, because I wanted to work, and no, I didn't. I literally just lied. I wanted to be here and be a star, but anyway, you got to work your way up.
Yeah.
So I did Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, and from there I auditioned for Insecure, and and I got the role of Tasha on Insecure. So yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
God.
Yeah. So I decided to just stay here.
Yeah.
And I've been, by the grace of God, I don't know how I'm still here, but I'm just still here about 5-6 years later.
Wow. I mean, can we give it a
Yeah. That's why I say you got like 3 hours. You gotta put that down, condense it.
And it's so much to like pull from that, right?
It
Like,
is.
On your path, you already were kind of set on the track for performing arts. Like,
Absolutely.
being in that school when you were 7 and getting that kind of training and grooming.
Absolutely.
What was one of like the key takeaways you took away from that moment? And that you still, maybe even an advice or a skill set that you're like, I still need to use till today?
I think the main thing that I take away with everything is, even being at the ensemble, is I just never gave up. And I also knew that with my teachers that were teaching me there, they told me that I was good enough, and they always used me for a lot of their main stage musicals and things like that, and they kept pulling me. So I was like, you know what, maybe I am good enough for this. And I think that's what I took away from that was, you know what, I'm not going to give up, because if they believed in me then I'm going to believe in myself now as an adult, you know? So, yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's hard, though. It's hard. This industry is hard. You got to have a lot of belief in yourself and a lot of faith.
absolutely. What were some of the moments, because I know that brought you to going to the HBCUs, doing majorette, right?
Yeah.
And then your dance team having the opportunity to audition for MTV.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
And like, it's like we auditioned for MTV. What did that moment feel like? And then also, if you could, just speak to like how you felt after the decision was made from the first episode.
Oh, girl.
So
First of all, I thought I made it. When I did America's Best Dance Crew, I thought I was literally going to tell my mom we made it, because I don't know, America's Best Dance Crew, I don't know if you remember the Jabberwockies.
Yep.
So,
with the math.
Yes. So they was like the first ones, like the first season. So they like blew up.
Yep.
So in my mind, I'm like, oh, snap. We Extreme Motion. Shout out to TSU. One of the captains at TSU, Trisha, she's the one that founded the dance team, and she wanted us to be called Extreme Motion. Yeah. So we did a lot of majorette moves, and we was like, let's bring that style to MTV and bring the South to MTV. So we did that, and when we got up there and we got called from Lil Mama, I was like, oh, snap, we made it. I was going to call my mom, say, don't work. It's done. We're going to Vegas. We're going to make this work. So I really did think that. Yeah. When we didn't make it that first episode, I think all the other girls, my other teammates, they were like sad but cool with it. But for me, it was a real big letdown. Yeah. Because I really, really thought I was going to be on my way. I know that sounds naive with the dancing, like how far could you go? But I really did think I was on my way with that. But it's okay. It's something to laugh at now, but I remember I had a boyfriend, sorry to Corey, shout out to him, Corey Williams. I had a boyfriend, I didn't even want to see him when I got back. I was like, yo, like, I thought I was going to be with Omarion, because he was one of the judges. And then to come back to real life, I was like, yo, this is, why are you at my door? I love him, though. He was great. But no, it was really disheartening for me. Like, I really hate that. It was a really big disappointment. Yeah. But it was a learning opportunity. So.
Absolutely. If you could say or share some words with somebody who just experienced, the cut, right? The moment after the cut, what would you tell like that young aspiring actress in Houston right now? If you could say some words to her.
If I can tell a young aspiring actress from Houston that just got cut, like I can always say, is to just keep going. I think the major thing that I can say is to keep going, because that's what happened to me. I think Steve Harvey said something great when he said a flower has to go through dirt before it actually becomes a flower, right? So you got to go through a lot of rejection. You're going to go through a lot of heartaches. But I think that if you have God by your side, or whatever higher power you have, if you have teachers, if you have family members, or anybody that you can talk to, it's okay to talk to them, and it's okay to have God by your side, and talk to yourself. Look yourself in the mirror and start saying, you know what, I'm the bomb. Like, I'm good, I'm talented, I'm beautiful, and I can do this. And also have a plan, and just know that sometimes it's going to go like this, but it's okay. It's going to get there. You know what I'm saying? And also, I know that social media is a thing right now, and don't compare yourself to people on social media. Don't do that. Just kind of focus on yourself and know that you're good enough, and just have a plan and stick to it no matter what. Seriously.
Absolutely.
Because it can be a lot. It can be a bumpy road, but it's okay. And let that rejection, don't worry about the rejection. Like, let the rejection, it's okay. God's grace is sufficient and you're going to be all right. So it's okay.
Yeah. Amen.
I think about that. I say that all the time to myself. So,
Yeah.
because this industry's crazy.
It can be a little wild.
Oh, yeah, girl.
Going from like cheerleading to majorette, right? To now you are on set, an all black woman, like owned set and starring us. Like, can you tell us about some of the differences and similarities? Like what is that experience like as opposed to being on a set where we are not the majority and it's not ran by us?
You talking about with dancing?
Yep. Well, from cheerleading, because you're surrounded by women.
Oh, yeah, that was high school.
Majorette, you're surrounded by women.
Mm-hmm.
Now you are working with Issa Rae, like surrounded by women on rap shit. You see how I just threw that in there? Like,
yeah. Rap shit. That's great. And Issa's great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like working on a set with all black women?
It's beautiful because I've been around black people all my life.
Yeah.
I went to a magnet school, all black. Shout out to Kashmere Senior High School in Houston. I always equate my high school to, you ever seen Lean On Me? I know that's above.
Yeah.
Fair East Side High, baby.
Fair East Side.
Before it got the makeover.
Before he put the chains
that
on the
was,
door.
oh yeah, that was Kashmere. But you know, I was surrounded by my people. I loved it. My family, we're from Fifth Ward, you know. So I'm surrounded by black. Went to HBCU, the ensemble theater that taught me so much, all black. You know, so whether it was male or female, I was surrounded by black, and I love being around that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Of course, the minority and everything like that, but it allowed me to be able to handle being on set with all of these wonderful, beautiful black people. You know what I'm saying? It's an amazing feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some inspirations? Like, who are some people that you find inspiring or motivating to you that you look to and you're like, wow, like that's something I want to continuously do, or I like how she played that in the industry?
Yeah, I definitely like, of course, Issa, because I'm around her. Yeah. So I see her personally and how she works, and I love the work ethic as far as me trying to be a creator now and a writer. I had a friend, Jack Knight, who recently passed away. He was one of the creators and writers on the show Bust Down that I'm on Peacock. And I remember him saying right before he passed away, he wrote on his story that Dominique Perry is the next Regina Hall if Hollywood could just write for her. And he passed away. Wow. Sadly, he took his life. Yeah. So I just to hear that, and I've always admired her. And I think that a lot of our acting is similar. I like her work ethic. So women like that, women like Tashina Arnold, because like we resemble. So I love her. I think she's great. And a lot of people like that I can relate to, that I kind of feel like I can act like. I like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And even in those times, right? Because a lot of times people see you on TV,
yeah,
right? And they are not able to separate like what you do from who you are, right? Mm-hmm. What are some ways that you like pour into yourself, like when you take those pauses on your path? What are some things that you do during that time?
I'm a homebody, so I like to just be at home.
Okay.
I like to watch a lot of TV and just kind of be in my own zone. Yeah. I love being a mother, so that takes up a lot of my time.
Absolutely.
To my toddler. And I love to dance. I used to take a lot of dance classes, so I want to get back into that. Yeah. And I love going back home, man. I love going back to Houston. Yeah. I'm actually going there next week. The Ensemble Theater is honoring me with the Rising Star Award. And I think that's so great. Yeah, right? Yeah, so I know. And I think it's it's no better time. And to be recognized by them right now is just so amazing. Yeah. So I like to go back home and just be with my family and my people and my day ones that have been with me. I had a friend from college 2 years ago when I went to homecoming. Yeah. He told me, he was like, how's everything going out there? And I was like, well, you know, it can be a little bit crazy. And he was like, no, don't let it be crazy, because when you walk in them audition rooms, you taking us with you. Like, wow. You got Houston with you, got PV with you. And it made me cry right then and there, because I never thought that he would say anything like that. You know, so I love going back home and being with my people. And recharging and then coming back to LA.
Yeah. How often do you go home?
Girl, I go home. Everybody be like, "What? Like, do you live there?" Like, I don't know. I'm cool with Keke Palmer, and I remember she said, "Do you live there? Like, or what are you doing?" So I go for like a month at a time, or like 2 months at a time, or like during the summers I'll go.
Yeah.
And now that I have my daughter, I know that my family likes to spend time with her, so I spend like holidays there, and I alternate with her dad, who's from here. He was also on Insecure, so I kind of just. I go a lot. I ain't gonna front. You would think I live there too, like bi-coastal.
You bi-coastal.
Mm-hmm.
How do you engage with your family? Because I know sometimes when you're in the entertainment industry, right? I know my mom, she'll call me up and be like, "Hey, Jael, I got somebody online. Can you do this? Can you host that?" Like, does that happen to you? And if that does happen to you, how do you create like healthy boundaries? Or are you still like, "Hey, my mom called me. I gotta go. I gotta
Now,
do."
you know what? I never really get asked to do a lot of stuff back home.
Okay.
It's so weird. Because my family, like, I don't know, they do this since you a celebrity or something, you know, like since you on a show or something like that. So I never really get asked to do anything like that back home. When I'm home, I'm literally just home. Like,
Gotcha.
I'm just one of them. So they don't never treat me or ask me to do nothing.
Gotcha.
They should. I should be making some money out there. But no, it's okay.
Because you spent some time doing like local shows and performing and doing local plays. Like, can you talk about the importance of making sure you're involved in the community that you're in as an artist? Like, they're aware that you're in the arts.
In Houston?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Like I said, being honored is great. So
Yeah.
I haven't really gotten back into acting in any of the local plays. However, I did do a local film on last year in Houston. It's a faith-based film, and I just wanted to, and it was a friend of mine, she created it. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna give back and just, well, not really give back, but just kind of be with my people back home.
Yeah.
And I wanna do more work out there. I think that really is important, because you don't wanna get to a point where they're like, oh, you're out there now, so you don't wanna do anything back home.
Back here, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ever too big or anything to do anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm always gonna do stuff back home
Absolutely.
if I'm asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's one person that you haven't worked with yet that you really want to work with?
Eddie Murphy.
Oh, that was good.
I love Eddie Murphy. I think he's great. I really want to work with him a lot.
Yeah.
I know it's probably one other person. I did Will Ferrell, so I think I got that off my bucket list. But Eddie Murphy, man, I've always wanted to work with him. I'm manifesting that right now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
In
putting that out
past,
there.
We believe it.
Yeah.
We're going to send this episode to his DMs and just be like, you know.
Yeah.
just
Oh,
in
yeah,
case.
yeah. And Drake, I want to do something on his production thing. I DM Drake all the time. He don't see it, but, and Chris Brown, I'm always in his DMs. He leave me on scene, so that's good. That's good.
Building it up.
Building it up. Yeah. Those are great. If I can do like a little short film with Chris, that'd be great. But no, Eddie Murphy, for real, like I really want to work with him.
Yeah.
He's great. I've looked up to him since I was a kid.
Oh, wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What was
I
the
don't
first
care.
film that like locked you in? I was like, yeah, I need to work with him.
Oh God,
Or
that's how you
any
know I
film.
ain't have no Boomerang.
But, oh, of course.
My
Of
mama
course.
was just kind of like, girl, go upstairs, do whatever. I was watching Boomerang. I loved it.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think Boomerang was more so my era of Eddie. I know he had previous, but that was my era of Eddie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The way he played with Halle Berry, I mean,
Oh yes,
Insane.
I know, and she's so amazing. She's so amazing.
insane.
Yes.
What's some advice you would give to somebody who's moving from the South to LA? Like maybe some steps, 5 actionable things that you would recommend they take before they actually make the move to come out here.
Before they make the move.
Yep, before.
Ooh, let's see. Get your head right. Get your head on straight. 5 things before they actually move. Just make sure you have your head on straight. Make sure you have an actual place or something, at least like a roommate or anything like that. Don't just come like with nothing, because that can be hard.
Yeah.
At least, well, I can't even say just at least have a job, because I didn't have that before I moved here. That's kind of hard. No, when I moved here, that's when I had got Roscoe. So I can't just say have a job. I don't know. That's a really good question. And that's a lot, 5.
Yeah. So we're gonna break it down. We're gonna break it all the way down.
Yeah.
So when you first moved out here, you said you didn't have a job. You went and got a job while you were here.
But I had a place.
But you had a
I
place.
had an Airbnb.
You
I had got
Airbnb?
it. Yeah, I had got an Airbnb. By the grace of God. Oh, God's so good. Thank you. So, no, I be playing, y'all. I be extra. No, but I did. I had gotten a place. My mom's friend had helped pay for Airbnb to stay here for 3 months. So it was like an extended Airbnb.
Yeah.
So I was definitely able to get that and a place to stay. So that way I can have my mind right for pilot season. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I didn't want to come here scavenging for a place.
Got you.
So yeah, I basically had that.
Yeah. Where did you go, like, for a pilot season? Is it like, you know, if I move here for a pilot season, like in January, like how do I find out, like, what's happening? Is there a hashtag or Instagram for pilot season? Like,
No, so I had a manager. So before, get you some good representation. So before I came here, I had an agent in Atlanta.
Okay.
I asked my agent, hey, I've been told that I need a manager. Could you please let me know of any managers that you know that are located in Los Angeles and I can come out there? And so she gave me a list of about 5, 6 managers. So me and my mom flew out here to Los Angeles for a week and we met with all of these managers. Some were scams or whatever, but then we met one, Melanie Turner, shout out to her. She's no longer my manager, but she really helped me get a start out here.
Yeah.
And she believed in me. She called me her little nugget. And so I did move out here with some form of representation to really get me started and really get those auditions going.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that that's a good thing. They have Actors Access. They have different websites that you can go to. But I always think having an agent, at least to start out with, is great to start with. You know, and a lot of times you get that by referral. Okay. I did an acting class when I was in Atlanta. That's who referred me to my agent in Atlanta. So I got with them after finishing my course with my acting class. So I think having representation is important. You know what?
Look, can you get a name?
You know what? Let me tell you something, Jay. I don't remember my agent.
Okay, got you.
And that's a shame. Always know your agents. I don't remember my agent back in Atlanta. And I really hate that because we're right here.
Do you remember that class?
Oh my gosh, girl. Let me tell you something.
Well, this is what we're going to do.
It was so many years ago. I really should have known that because I definitely want to give all information. I'm very transparent. Yeah. I don't remember the acting class, but I definitely remember Googling best acting classes in Atlanta. And I was able to go and research, and they really did help me with a lot of scene study and things of that nature. Yeah. So I just basically researched online and found that acting class. Kind of like when you're just going, they give you certain scenes in acting classes, and they give you a partner, and sometimes you'll take a little time, like an hour or so, to kind of memorize it, or they'll give it to you for homework, and then you come back and you kill it in class.
You get homework in acting class?
You do. And I hate homework.
Homework. Yeah, I need to be doing that.
I hate homework because sometimes my homework now is just watching my favorite actors or actresses sort of like, look at what they're doing. Yeah. Or sometimes I'll look at myself and I'll be like, I didn't like that. I feel like I could be stronger on that. Or sometimes I'll have a person that takes my auditions and I like feedback. Give me some feedback. Let me know if I need to be stronger or anything like that, or I'm doing too much. Yeah. You know, because there's a difference between stage acting and film acting.
Got you. And I mean, that's always good, right? You need to be able to know that to hone in on your craft, there is a level of study involved.
Absolutely.
Like you have to.
I think theater, man, if you come from theater, man, I think you can do anything. You can fly a plane if you come from theater. That's a hard thing right there. Learning those lines, and there is no cut. It's like once it's showtime, it's showtime. So you always got to study your lines, especially in theater. Television and film, it can be a little bit more lenient, but you still need to know your stuff. Yep. You still need to know your lines and study before you step on that set, because your co-star may know everything and you're just sitting there. Yep. You got to know your lines. You have to study. Wow. Yeah.
What are some of those questions that you ask, like your agent and or manager? Like, what are some of those criteria questions so you can get get a vibe? Like I noticed you met with them in person. Given the climate now, a lot of people are having to meet with representation like Zoom or online.
Yeah.
Like what are some of those like three or four questions that you're like, you need to ask this, you need to ask this, like this is something I recommend?
You know what? My mom was basically doing a lot of the questions, but I always ask like, who do you compare me to? A lot of times they compare me to certain people.
Gotcha.
So that also had me know like, okay, so where do you see my career going? Like as far as looking at me, seeing my resume, like how can we build it up? You know what I'm saying? Who do you have on your roster that it kind of resembles me or anything like that?
Why is that question important?
Sometimes I just want to know if you have people like me that you represent. So it let me know, okay, so you know how to put me out there.
There we go.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to question it. Like you already know what to do. Do you have, well, I know sometimes people don't ask this, but now I'm like, do you have any other connections in the industry? Because sometimes that can also matter too in this business. It's politics.
Yep.
So a lot of times it's about who you know. And a lot of times it's about who your agent knows.
Yeah.
So it's always good to know like, hey, are you around here? You know what I'm saying? Do you get outside? Do you know certain people, certain resources that can really help me?
Yeah. As a mom in the industry, right? I
Mm-hmm.
feel like there are certain expectations around like how you work and like, is she gonna have enough time? I know people hear that a lot in other industries. Is she gonna be able to commit the time or whatnot to her craft, to the film? Do you feel like that ever happens to you, or has anybody made any like, I don't want to say anybody particular made any comments, but how is it navigating the acting space as a mom and as an actress?
You know, my mom thought that I had took a break, but I never took a break. Even when I was pregnant, I was still auditioning.
Gotcha.
I had booked a show called Black Jesus right when I had become pregnant, and I was still working. I was a little sick or whatever, but I was still working.
Yeah.
So it never stopped me. I never stopped acting when I was pregnant. I never stopped acting right after I gave birth. I was still auditioning. Yeah. And even up until now, nothing or anyone has ever kind of made a comment or made it seem like because I'm a mom, I can't work. So I've never even understood. I understand most women in this business want to wait because you do have to be financially stable when you are having a child. Some of us wasn't, we just, had a baby. But you do want to be financially stable, you want to be mentally ready, but I don't think you'll never be like mentally ready for a kid. So I think it's always something that grows, like once you become a mother, that motherly love. So nothing's ever stopped me. Like the motherhood has never stopped. I would take my child, when we was in a stroller, I would take her in the audition room with me. It's nothing. They'll be like, bring her in. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I never stopped, ever stopped. It didn't deter me from anything, especially because I have like one goal in mind. Yep. And my plan A is my plan B. So therefore I was just headstrong, like I'm real headstrong. Yeah.
That's a path quotable.
Yeah.
My plan A is my plan B.
Yeah.
There's no backup.
No. I was up for the lead role of Rap Shit, and hate to say that, but I'm just saying it to say, when I didn't get that role, shout out to Chameleon because she is killing the lead as Mia right now. But when I didn't get that, it wasn't just that role, but it was all of the things, all of the close calls that I had gotten. Yeah. When I didn't get that, it was all of them. It made me feel so down. Yeah. And so I remember talking to my friend Wayno, Mr. Wayne Clark, Wayno119 on Instagram. He's amazing. And he's also in the entertainment industry. And I was telling him, you know what, I'm done. I'm just going to quit. Like, it's whatever. And he was like, okay, cool. So what you going to do? Because, like, you got a kid. And I was like, oh, wait, I don't know. He said, exactly. So you might as well just keep it going. Yeah. Because I was like, I'm going to quit and then do what? Like, what am I going to do? I have no experience in nothing. They never hire me for jobs because I have no experience except for waitressing, because that's all I've ever really done. So I was like, yeah, my plan A is my plan B. It just is what it is,
Ain't no hold up.
Yeah.
Well,
don't keep it going.
Well, I do not want to stop the audience because I feel the hard stares. We are going to open it up for some questions. I know we have a lot of people. We'll go right here.
Ooh.
You said that you wanted to be in the movie with Eddie Murphy and you really liked him. So, what was the first movie or TV show that you watched with Eddie Murphy in it?
The first one was Boomerang. And then after that, I really wanted to work with him after I saw Life. I don't know if you know that, but I really wanted to work with him after I saw Life. It was so much fun, and he's so great. His comedic timing is great. Martin Lawrence is great too, but I just love him. That was the first one I saw. I say, "Oh, I got to act with him." With Marcus Graham. You don't know who that is. You'll know who that is later.
Thank you so much for blessing us with your presence.
Absolutely.
As a fellow HBCU grad, question is, what role do you see HBCUs playing in Hollywood? I know a lot of times we may not necessarily have the funding for the same types of programs. Now, there are some programs that are really like that, but what would you say to an HBCU grad who says, hey, look, I'm trying to get there, right? But what about the HBCU experience do you think was valuable to maybe bring to Hollywood?
Oh, you know, that's so funny. I wrote a show called BU. It's a pilot. And it's basically about, thank you. I wrote it a few years ago. Hollywood is I think they're just now getting into HBCU like that mode now. So now it's being a little bit more accepted because when I wrote it, nobody was really trying to hear me. But I think now is the time that a lot of HBCUs are being on the forefront now. And I wrote the pilot, and I'm not going to give up on it. It's a really, really, really good show, and it's about my HBCU and so many of our experience. I made it real, real. So I think that now, more than any, is the time to sort of get out there, create something, write something from their experience, because we need that grounded HBCU rawness in Hollywood. I think they're trying to emulate it, but it's not the same, especially for people that really experienced it, you know? So I think right now is the time that it's the best time to get out there and do it. If you have any type of idea or anything, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, girl. First of all, I want to congratulate you on all of your wins and all the ones that are going to come because they will. And you spoke about a lot of the close calls with rap shit. I wanted to ask you about the audition process for Insecure, what that was like, whether you got a call back or you just landed it, and what it was like working on that set.
Yeah, Insecure, I had just got the initial audition. My manager at the time, Melanie Turner, basically, hey, you have this audition. I went in, I saw the role as Tasha, and I was like, oh, snap, this is me, you know, because I've been that girl, literally. So I went in, I auditioned for it, and my first line was the bank scene when Tasha was introduced in episode 3 of season 1. And all she said was next, and I remember saying that, and Issa and them bust out laughing. I didn't even know who Issa and them was at the time. So when I did that, I said, oh, okay, so I was killing it. They actually brought me in for Tiffany, her best friend, to read for that role. But I didn't get it, and I was really feeling Tasha more. I should have felt Tiffany more because she was a regular. But I like Tasha. I think she was great. And it took them weeks to call me back. So I didn't think that I got it. I looked on Instagram and I saw that they were doing a table read for Insecure episode 1. I said, oh, okay, so I didn't get it. I was like, man, they was really laughing in the audition room, and I said next, and they were wow. I was like, I know I got it. And I will say, after crying and boo-hooing about it, God was like, girl, stop. And I got a call within the next few days to do a chemistry read with Jael, who plays Lawrence. So after that, it was like on and popping from there. Fun story, I was working at Roscoe's real quick. I was working at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, and it was a black, what is those van Sprinters that pulled up. And I said, wouldn't that be crazy if it was just like everybody from Insecure? It was literally everybody from Insecure scouting locations, because Roscoe's was one of the locations they used in the season 1. I ran to the back. I ain't come out until it was time to clock out because you got me messed up. And you ain't finna see me with no Roscoe's. Not that there was nothing wrong with Roscoe's. I still wear my Roscoe's shirt, but at that time I was like, oh my God. And I told Prentice Penny, who's the showrunner, that story. He was like, why didn't you just say it? That would have been funny. I was like, oh God, no, I was embarrassed. Because I had just got the role. But no, that was pretty much my my call with Insecure. And with Rap Shit, I had auditioned. Issa loved it. I was able to meet with I even skipped the callback. I went straight to the chemistry read. And we were doing the mix and match. So they were mixing up a Shauna with a Mia or a Shauna with a Mia. It was like 10 girls each for Shauna and Mia role for a rap shit. And I met with lawyers, so how much I was gonna get paid. I said, stop it, girl. Oh my God. And so, yeah, that was pretty much the experience for that. Then got the call. But yeah, it was still cool. And Issa called me and offered me the role for Nelly to play Mia's best friend. So that was a blessing. I didn't even audition for that. Issa just believed in me. So I just really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For some people in the audience who may not know, what is a chemistry read?
Oh, a chemistry read. That is basically, it's so funny how you just be talking. Chemistry read is basically when you made it past the initial audition. You have the callback audition sometimes. You have the producer session. And then you have a chemistry read. And a chemistry read is basically when you are doing your initial audition scene with the actual person that is casted in that opposite role. So it's just testing you guys, kind of chemistry with each other. Do you guys relate to each other? How's y'all body flows? How do the lines flow off of each other's mouths and things like that? And can people look at you and be like, I can see them as a couple in real life, or I can see them as best friends in real life. Like, I like them two together, they mesh. So it's all about seeing like how a person mesh with the co-star. And if y'all got good chemistry, then it's on from there.
It's on from there, y'all. We got another question.
Hi. So
Hi.
you mentioned that when you were extra, you got bumped up.
Yes.
What does it mean to get bumped up, and how did that go for you?
There I go again, just talking, right? And I don't even explain nothing.
You're
So when
perfectly
when I was a extra on Get Hard, my initial audition was just me twerking. It was so embarrassing because the guy was my little white friend, and he had to. I still have the audition of me in like these high cutter shorts, and like I just had to twerk. So that was my initial audition, and I went on set, and I was just supposed to sit next to T.I. or whatever. I probably had one little line. And I remember my mom called me that night and said, wouldn't it be funny if like they told you had to kiss Will Ferrell or something? I'm like, Mom, stop. Stop being weird. And so the next day, I kid you not, they asked me, so we're gonna bring you out and we're actually gonna have you kiss him. It's just so funny that she said that and it happened. So that's what I mean by the extra got bumped up. And then they added another scene where I'm dancing on Will Ferrell. And then they added another scene where I'm dancing for him when he was in the jail cell, which was my first day. And I was like, oh my God. So I guess when I say the extra got bumped up, it's kind of like a play on words, just to say like you started out with one line and then they see your potential or something and then they move you up to do something else.
Promoted on the path.
Promoted on the path. Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's a good note for us to talk about how you watching this episode will be promoted on your path because
Promoted
you
on
did
the
the due
path.
diligence.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for keeping it real with us.
Thank
being
you,
honest,
Jay.
and sharing your journey.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, guys.
I love it when you kiss. Aphrodite, then kiss, her rock, her messy colors. Na 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 na. Never become Christmas. I love Aphrodite, then kiss, her rock, her messy colors. Na 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 na. Never become Christmas. I love it when you kiss. Love it when you kiss. Love it when you kiss. Kiss. Love it, 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 I love it when you kiss me. Love it, 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 love, I love it when you kiss me. Love it, love, I love it, love, I love it, love, I love it when you love it, love it, love, I love it when you kiss me. Love it, love, I love it, love, I love it, love, I love it, love it, love, I love it when you kiss.